Hello watch fam, thank you and welcome back to the channel. This was my first time getting hands-on with the Ulysse Nardin, and I walked away impressed. Not because I expected the watch to be bad, but because this is one of those brands I've respected from a distance without really spending time with one on the wrist. And there's a difference between reading specs, seeing pictures online, and actually putting the watch on and understanding what the brand is trying to do. The watch I was able to spend time with is the Ulysse Nardin Diver Net Wempe Signature Collection. This particular model was released in a very limited 75-piece run through Wempe only in 2024, and while this exact edition is limited, you can still see the broader diver net language in Ulysse Nardin's current collection. What makes this watch interesting is that it's not just another black and orange dive watch. It uses recycled and upcycled materials throughout the case construction. It has in-house Ulysse Nardin movement, and it carries a design language that feels very different from the obvious luxury divers people tend to talk about. And I know sometimes when brands start talking about recycled materials, sustainability, and ocean conservation, it can sound like marketing language before it sounds like real watchmaking. I get skeptical of that too, but this watch, the material story is not just a little recycled strap or a press release talking the point. The construction of the watch is actually built around that idea. The inner case is made from 95% recycled stainless steel, and the case uses nylon and carbonium in the construction. Nylon is made from recycled fishing nets, and carbonium uses carbon fiber offcuts from the aircraft manufacturing. So this is not just a normal diver with a green story attached to it. After the fact, the materials are part of the identity of the watch, and it is built with that in mind. That is why I compared it in my notes to what Oris does with the upcycled dials, except turned way, way up. With Oris, you really see the recycled story through the dial. With this Ulysse Nardin, the story moves into the case, the bezel, the strap. The whole wearing experience is about this recycled material. Now, does that automatically make it a great watch? Absolutely not. A watch still has to wear well, the dial still has to work, the movement still has to be the right for the price, and the whole thing has to make sense on the wrist. But after handling this one, I do think there is more here than just a good concept. Starting with the case, this is a 44mm dive watch, and I know that number is going to make some people pause. I usually pause at 44mm too, because a lot of watches in that size range feel way too wide, too flat, or just too big in general. They may look fine in pictures, but once you put them on, you immediately know they're not going to be comfortable for a full day. Well, I will tell you, this one surprised me quite a bit. The lug is right around 50mm, which is like my maximum, and the watch is listed at about 14.8mm thick, so on paper, it's still a large sports watch. I am not going to pretend this is some compact diver that wears like a 39mm, because it doesn't, but because of the case shape, the curved lugs, and the way the strap helps pull the watch onto the wrist, it wears better than the dimensions are going to suggest. On my 7.25" wrist, it wore very similar to my 42mm JLC Navy SEALs diver. I'm not saying they're the same kind of watch, because they're not. The JLC is a little bit more subdued, and this Ulysse Nardin has a much louder personality. But in terms of how the watch sits, how the weight is balanced, and how confident it feels without becoming awkward, it reminded me of like the same type of wearing experience. That was probably the first thing that caught me off guard. I expected it to feel bigger than it did. Instead, it felt bold, but still controlled. It has wrist presence, but it does not feel like the watch is fighting your wrist all day. The thickness is also better managed than the numbers suggest. At almost 15mm thick, I expected it to feel tall. Think the PO by Omega, but the downturn lugs help the case settle into the wrist really nice. The strap also matter here, because if the strap was stiff, the watch would probably still feel much larger. But because the rubber is so pliable and comfortable, the whole thing wraps around the wrist instead of sitting on top of it. Quick wrist check, I'm wearing my Breitling Navitimer in 42mm, and I will tell you, like, that probably sits very similar on the wrist. The bezel is another part of the case to give the watch its personality. You have this carbonium inlay with that marble carbon look, and it gives the watch a technical, almost industrial feel. It is not a clean ceramic bezel like you would see on a lot more traditional luxury divers. It has texture and variation, and that gives the watch a little bit more life. The bezel works because this watch is not trying to be a traditional diver. It has 300 meters of water resistance, so the capability is there, but the design is clearly more expressive. This is a luxury sports diver, but the case is where you start to feel that. Moving to the dial, this is probably where the watch made the biggest impression on me. I love the texture of it, and I really like how the orange is used throughout the watch without making it feel cheap or overly loud. On this dial, I think it works because the black, gray, and the carbon tones keep it grounded. You have large baton style indices that give the dial a strong tool watch feel, and the 12 o'clock marker is slightly more pronounced, which helps with orientation and keeps the dial easy to read. The minute track uses orange and white accents, and the white numerals give enough contrast that the dial stays functional, even with everything else going on. At 6 o'clock, you have the small seconds and the date window, and I actually like that layout because it keeps the lower part of the dial active without throwing the watch off balance. You also have the power reserve indicator, which is one of those complications I think makes sense on this type of watch. It gives you something useful without making the dial feel overly complicated or cluttered. The Ulysse Nardin branding runs across the dial from 9 to 3, and then you have that large X sitting in the center. Normally that much visual information could bother me, especially on the dive watch, but because I still want a diver to feel readable and purposeful. But on this watch, it works because the X almost becomes the structure of the dial. The orange 1846 is also a nice detail because that is the year Ulysse Nardin was founded. I like details like that when they are done with restraint. It connects this very modern looking diver rack to the brand's history. And that matters because Ulysse Nardin actually has real marine history here. The diver net is very modern, maybe even futuristic in some ways, but it still connects back to what Ulysse Nardin has historically been about: marine timing, innovation, and doing things a little differently from everybody else. But if you like watches that have a little bit more personality and you don't mind a dial that makes you look at it more than just once, this one has a lot of watch to enjoy. Now let's get into the movement, because this is where the watch has more substance than some people might realize. So inside it is the Ulysse Nardin manufactured caliber UN118. It is an automatic in-house movement with a 60-hour power reserve running at 4 Hertz or 28,800 vibrations per hour. You get central hour and minutes, small seconds, a date, and the power reserve indicator. What makes the movement more interesting is the escapement. Ulysse Nardin uses a silicone balance spring, and the escapement includes a diamond seal components. Diamond seal is silicone coated with a synthetic diamond layer, and the idea is to reduce friction, improve wear resistance, and support better long-term performance. This is an area where Ulysse Nardin deserves a lot of credit. A lot of collectors know the brand for the Freak, and the Freak has that wild design language people either love or they do not know what to do with. But underneath the design, Ulysse Nardin has been important in bringing silicone technology into modern watchmaking. So when you see that same kind of technical mindset inside a diver, it gives the watch more credibility. You can see the movement through the display case back, and I always appreciate being able to see the movement. But this is also where I have my biggest complaint about this particular watch. I do not love when brands put too much writing or decoration over the display case back. I understand why it is there. This is a Wempe signature collection piece. It is limited, and they wanted the case to back to mark that. But for me, if you're going to give me a display case back, I want as clean of a view of the movement as possible. That is not a deal breaker, but it is one thing I would change. I would rather have the limited edition information handled more subtly and let the movement be the focus. Heck, even put it on the movement itself. The movement finishing is not the type of finishing you would compare to a high-end hand finish halt horology, and that is not really the point here. The strength of this movement is the technical side. It's the silicone, the diamond still escapement, the 60-hour power reserve, the power reserve display, and the fact that Ulysse Nardin is using its own manufacturer caliber. Now, the strap system was another part of the watch I thoroughly enjoyed. This version comes with the bright orange rubber strap, and my buddy also had the opposite black strap. I really like that because the two straps change the personality of the watch incredibly so. On the orange strap, the watch is loud in the best of ways. It feels like a summer watch. It feels like something you should wear on vacation, around water, or on a weekend when you actually want the watch to be a part of the outfit. On the black strap, I think it becomes more wearable. It is still not subtle, but it is more controlled. If I owned this watch, I would probably wear it on the orange when I wanted the full personality of the piece, and I would put it on the black when I wanted to calm it down a little bit. The rubber itself was very comfortable. It was pliable. It did not fight the wrist, and it helped the case wear smaller than the dimensions suggest. And that is very important because the watch is 44 millimeters. The strap can make or break the whole wearing experience. If the strap is stiff, the watch feels bigger. If the strap pulls everything onto the wrist properly, the size becomes a lot more easier to manage. The buckle system is also one of the more unique ones I've handled. It uses a double folding clasp made from ceramic and titanium, and it took me a second to figure out how it worked. But once you understand it, it's not that hard to use. I wish I had a better video of it because it is one of those small design details that add to the experience of the watch. There's also that ceramic piece on the strap with the Wempe signature mark in it. I was not sure what to call it when I first looked at it, but visually I like what it does. It breaks up the strap, gives the side profile a little bit more design, and helps the watch feel more integrated around the wrist. I'm not sure if that's its intended functional purpose or not, but from a wearing and design standpoint, it really works very well. Now, would I wear this watch personally? Absolutely, I would. Despite the 44mm case, this is a bold and masculine diver that somehow avoids feeling unyielding. It has size, but it also has shape. It has presence, but it does not feel sloppy. The strap is extremely comfortable. The case hugs the wrist better than expected, and the dial has enough going on to keep your attention without feeling like it was designed by a random committee. For me, this would not be a business watch. I would not wear this with a formal attire, and I would not try to force it into a situation where it does not belong. That is not what this watch is for. And that is probably where I appreciate it the most. You all know I'm a little bit eclectic in my taste. There are a lot of luxury dive watches that are technically excellent, but visually safe. That is not a bad thing. There is a reason watches like the Submariner, the Seamaster, the 50 Falcons, the Pelagos, and others are so well respected in the industry. They work because they are proven, wearable, and easy to understand. This Ulysse Nardin is not trying to win that same game. But if you are buying with your own taste and you already understand that this is a more specific kind of watch, I think there's a lot to like here. So let me know your thoughts in the comments. Is this too much, or is this the kind of different the watch world needs more of? And if you haven't done so already, please like and subscribe to the channel. It goes a really long way, and I appreciate you watching. Thank y'all again. This is Jimmy. See y'all soon.